Saloni Shah, and I'm currently doing my majors in Mechatronics and Robotics from NYU. I really consider myself to be the part of this STEM Away internship program because I got to learn a lot of things and talking towards something towards the design thinking process side. So here's my team. Anthony, I would really thank him as my co-lead, and the participants all were like really active and they all made up a good team. So, uh, STEM away, I would like to say one thing about the STEM away. It doesn't only focuses on undergrad or grad students. So Christine, who worked for this design thinking process, she actually got retired because she's a mom of two children, and we were lucky to have her on our team because she gave her inputs and she was very valuable for our team. So I would really like to thank her. So, talking something about design thinking process, so it consists of basically five major steps: empathize, define, ideate, prototype, and test. So, empathize is where you learn about your audiences. Define is you come up with a problem statement. Ideate is when you are actually familiar with the problem statement, you try to come up with the creative solutions. The next step comes as prototype. So here's the two type of things: low prototyping and high prototyping. And then the final step is testing. So when you actually test your product before just coming up or giving it to the market. So moving next, empathy maps. So this was a very important step because the empathy maps can tell us about all of our users, what they want to hear, what they see, how they feel about the website, what do they say. So this uh, indirectly helped us understanding and empathize with the stakeholders. So right side, the picture shows that how actually people prepare empathy map. They just create a white rough draft on the wall and then they put up the sticky notes just so that to make sure they highlight each and every point. So in this slide, you can see the empathy map that my team designed. So this empathy map was created considering this time away and what the users think about it. So here's the look for what my team did. Talking about the user research interviews, so I just want to talk one important thing here, as this is like very important step of our part or the process, because we interact with the users, we talk to them related how they feel about the site, what problems they feel when they first visit this time away, what changes they think they should make it. So this was a very important stage, and it really helped us in drafting what how should we designing our low fidelity and high fidelity prototyping. So we got some positive negative feedbacks and we used that, and it really helped us for displaying the relevant information to new visitors and reoccurring participants. So one thing I would just tell everyone is like when we take interviews, so I would suggest that when you're actually interviewing someone in person, you should be completely hearing them, and you should take someone along with you to write down the notes, because when you speak with them and when you are concentrating on writing down the notes, they might just feel a little bad about it because you need to hear them, whether it's negative feedback or positive feedback. So you should completely give 100% concentration when you are taking an interview or asking your user about giving you some feedback for your work. Next, talking about the personas, and it is just as important as we did our research, user research survey. So personas comes next. After talking to the users, after knowing what they think about the website layout and everything, we just prepare a draft, and it just shows that what a person or the user might think about us. So we used mural for it, and we used the layout that a mural has, and we used the sticky notes, and it is very helpful when you have to draft. Let's say if even if you have to make BMC or any value proportions, the mural sites can help you with that. This is the next step. We moved on further with our wireframing work. On the right side, as you see, it's the done in Balsamiq. It's a software, and usually we use it for the wireframing thing. It gives you general layout and idea about how your website or any applications on your phone might look like. So here's like the personal media library, for example, the iTunes. So this layout shows you that okay, if you ever remember that okay how iTunes library look like, so there's a play button, stop button. You can adjust the features you want to give them and just create a draft so that you get an idea that okay what your final site or final product will be looking like. So the one this is GSAL principles, and this was the one important thing that we all used it when drafting our layout. So this is the layout of our site that my team prepared in the Balsamiq software. Using the Giselle principles, they are really important. They tells us how the layout should be. When you scroll down, the relevant information when you put below the text box, all the drafting and the designing principles, we all followed that and we made sure that our page should look like as if it's professional and we wanted to make it look best. So this is the low fidelity prototyping that my team did in Balsamiq. Talking further about it, the usability testing, this is a very important step. The generative research methods usually define the problem that we'd like to design a solution for, and the evaluative research measures on the other side, they helps us evaluating an existing design. For example, the prototyping or doing the final touch up or doing the final preparing final draft. So user testing and usability testing is like what do my users think of? Is it going to be useful for them? How likely they'll be using my app if I designed? How likely it is going to make a positive effect in their life? So these all questions we should ask to ourselves so that it can give us a rough idea that okay, what actually you should think from the user's point of view that can give us the more creative solutions to our problem statement. The next I would like to move on is with the use of Figma. And I would really appreciate my team that they put great efforts in creating the layout, the final draft for the website Stamaway. And everyone can just go to the LinkedIn and we have posted the high fidelity prototyping of our design layout in Figma. And I would also like to share one thing. I was completely new to Figma, but after joining this internship, I got to learn a lot of things. And as a part of my curriculum present for the entrepreneurship subject, I used Figma in designing and drafting a layout for our own website. We are currently team of 7 members, and we designed the website snopty.com. It's basically a social platform where we focus on the native languages readers as well as the writers. So we just contact the writers and we ask them to write their blogs on our website. And it's for now we are concentrating on Hindi, Bengali, and Marathi. And we in future we are planning to expand it to other languages. So thank you everyone. I would like to give away my have a next presentation to Jay, and he will take you along the other side of this time away. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. Hi, everyone. I'm Jay. And thank you, Pratik, for being here and just giving us an opportunity to present our work at STEMaway. So, as Saloni talked about her experience as a mentor chains lead and leading the user experience and user interface team, I was a user experience lead as well, along with her for another team. But at the same time, some of the leads were also working on another project at STEMaway. So here are four of us. It's me, Anthony, it's Fiona, and Pooja. Four of us were working on creating the user interface of a corporate dashboard for STEMaway. So STEMaway is not only just a platform for virtual internships or career networking. It is like a two-sided marketplace where students and aspiring professionals in STEM, like all of us, are given the opportunity to, kind of connect with corporate partners who are looking for young talent in STEM. What we were working on was STEMaway's hiring portal, and this is just a gist of what we worked on. The initial design, it was called as version 1.0 of our initial design, and you can see that this particular design was kind of created to help recruiters or hiring managers input the kind of roles, the kind of roles or students they're looking for, especially. And then you can see different kinds of uh, inputs that they could put, like, technical skills or soft skills or other attributes, location preferences, things like that. And this is something that we just started off with. And there was immediate feedback on the active candidate pool as the recruiters or hiring managers kind of toggled between different kind of skills or preferences that they wanted. And in some part of this page, there were specific skill suggestions by role based on the library of resources that SimAway has. Now, I'm going to show you the final version of how it looked like, and here we're just going to enjoy the power of Figma and UX prototyping and designing. And so this was the initial version that we worked on, and now let's see what the final version, which is ready right now, looks like. And this is much more clean, and this is much more, as Saloni mentioned about the gestalt principles. What it basically talks about is that there are sections within a web page as well. You need to relate to different sections, and what we can see over here clearly, and what we wanted to focus mainly, was an active panel and a result panel. Now, in the active panel, you are inputting, you meaning recruiters and hiring managers, they're inputting different kinds of inputs, like what kind of technical skills do they want, what kind of soft skills do they want, what location preferences do you want. That's the active panel. But then at the same time, on the right side of the page, you know there is a result panel as well. On the bottom right, I'll say, to be more specific, there is a result panel as well, where you can see what kind of inputs that you're putting, so you can maintain contact with each and everything that you're inputting, and at the same time you can play around in the active panel as well. So moving on to what my team designed, not my team but all of us designed, is, you can see on the left hand side, there are technical skills that you're looking for a UX UI designer, skills like visual design, high fidelity prototyping, information architecture, and then you can put in the importance of that skill, what level of importance are you looking for that particular skill. Similarly for soft skills, and then on the right side you can see that there is a map, and then there are locations where you're looking for UX and UI designers. Now, all of this is quite intuitive, and all of this is quite user friendly, but at the same time, this does not look as polished as the final version would look like. And moving on to the next slide, we'll be able to see what the final version actually looks like. So here we can see the page for the technical skills. This looks much more neat. This looks much more efficient and easy to use. Now, what was important is the color pattern, maintaining the color palette as well. When you're working with visuals, when you're working with graphics, it's important to make sure that the user is kind of connecting well with what the company has to provide. So we're choosing kind of shades of green over here, and that is something that we're highlighting in this page as well. And then there's once again an active panel and a result panel on the right side. The active panel meaning the panel where you can prioritize technical skills, soft skills, and then on the right side there is the result panel. So moving on to the next slide. So as we were talking about the location preferences, this is what it looks like. Now, we can see how different it is from the initial design that we had. This is much more clean, this is much more uh, user friendly, and this is what, putting in location preferences looks like. You have selected locations, you have working logistics, in person or remote. Remote is a very important option that, all of the companies would like to opt for, keeping in mind current situations. So, and then once again, on the bottom right hand side, there is the results candidate pool, where you see that, you know okay, so you have 82 results now based on the input that you have provided. So this is just a gist of what STEMaway's virtual, online corporate dashboard looks like. So this is just the final version, just to show you the final version of, after after the hiring manager or the recruiter has inputted everything. This is what the final version looks like. You have a list of 43 candidates that meet the requirements that you've kind of asked for. And then you have the one click resume as well. One click resume is STEMaway's proprietary proprietary material to kind of display the different kind of skills that a person is showing, and it has a completely different algorithm behind it. But yeah, this is what the final result looks like. And this just ends the formal presentation part. And we could just see the power of UX designing for our corporate dashboard, and I hope you enjoyed it. But actually, this is just a gist of what the STEMaway experience looks like. There are a lot of other things which you learn while interning at STEMaway. So let me just talk to you about my personal experience as a mentor change lead when we started the June session. Now, I was about to lead the user experience team of 8 participants, and our project was to work on STEMaway's online user interface. Now, some of you must be thinking, what if we haven't led a team before? Um, there were certain apprehensions about leading a team for the first time, and now I was a bit nervous about it. And but what's unique about STEMaway and the entire experience at STEMaway is that they trust in you to lead by example, and that they're confident in your abilities. Now, in addition to that, all the UX leads were given 2 weeks of formal training from an industry mentor. Now, this training period actually boosted my confidence, and it clearly shows how invested STEMaway is in nurturing young talent like me and all of the other panelists present over here. Now, overall, my experience of leading a team in the user experience pathway helped me a lot during interviews as well. This is a very important part for students like us who are actually looking to enter the market for entry level roles. And this is not only something, the STEM away experience is not only something that will look good on your resume, but this experience will give you multiple talking points during your behavioral interviews. Now, I was able to talk about my leadership experience, about times when I failed to motivate my team, and then how I was able to overcome those, roadblocks. Now, this actually shows that STEMaway has given me a great platform to develop professionally and as a person as well, because when you're leading a team, you learn multiple things about yourself, about the team, that you haven't even had a chance to encounter before. And I think this model of having mentor chains leads is exceptionally well structured. It's exceptionally well designed, and I think it is a great platform for you to excel professionally. So I just wanted to thank Devlina for this opportunity, and this brings an end to the presentation part, and we can now open the floor for questions.